Every year in the NFL, it's a new team. As far as goals go, we have one. Putting the ring on our finger.
Welcome to the Buccaneers Observer Podcast. This is Ralph Phillips.
I'm Molly Bay.
Today is October 15th, 2020. A little late on this one. Took forever to get this game film done. A lot of that because I'm lazy. I had extra days, so I took extra days. Actually took a day off Wednesday. Didn't do anything.
There you go.
Yeah. So we got that for you. We got what we saw in the All-22. We got some news for you, the Buccaneers and NFC South news, as well as a little bit around the league, I think. And then we're going to talk about the Green Bay Packers game coming up.
Yeah.
Big game. Probably the toughest game on our schedule. Anyhow, do we have any fact checks or follow-ups?
No.
Molly? No?
No.
Perfect once again.
We're perfect.
We are really knocking these out of the park, man.
Mm-hmm.
Are we really perfect, or are we just not doing fact checks and follow-ups?
No, I just didn't listen to it.
Okay.
Forgot about it.
All right. Let's talk about the Chicago game. I know nobody wants to, but let's just forget it and move on to the next one. Man, I'm telling you, the media, that's one of the reasons why we didn't do a podcast this week, because I was just so aggravated with the media. I'm not going to get into it. I talked to Molly. There was a particular media person that I wanted to really, really go after because she attacked the fans again, and I can't deal with it anymore. So I unfollowed her. You know, and we say this here at the podcast that we believe in the team. We believe we're part of the team. We are the 12th man. I think fandom is extremely important for teams to win. And I believe in supporting the whole team. We've talked about this for years. Everybody from the water boy to the cheerleaders to the head coach to the cheerleaders to the general manager.
Especially the cheerleaders, like in particular.
They don't show cheerleaders enough on TV, and I really hate this coronavirus because it's keeping the cheerleaders from being shown at all because they're not even out there.
It is so sad. I hope they're not unemployed.
We
should start a foundation or something.
Yes, goodness, let's help them out. But we believe in support, and that includes the media too. Now, in all of that, we don't mean to say, hey, we just give them a free pass on everything. Now, we like to hold people accountable. When a player screws up, we like to point it out, but we never say we need to fire this person or that person sucks or this person is dumb or stupid or these people need to be off the team or the GM needs to be fired. You'll never hear that from us, ever. We stuck in there with Mike Smith for the longest time, even though we were sitting there going, oh, my God, oh, my gosh. But it's just, to us, we feel like it doesn't help the team, you know, and that's what we want to do. We want to help the team. Well, anyhow, this one media personality has caused quite a bit of division amongst the team. As a matter of fact, with our podcast, the only 1-star rating we've gotten has been because of her, because somebody got mad that we talked bad about her. Now, she has the most followers of all the media journalists. And she uses them. She will use them to attack you. If you say anything bad or go against her beliefs, she will sick them after you. And that happened here recently. And it's the first time since I've been a Buccaneers fan that I've said I am done with somebody that I consider to be part of the team. But, you know, the media people, they're not really part of the team. I'm going to backtrack on what I'm saying now. Yeah. I mean, they are.
To an extent.
To an extent. You're right.
Because, like, every team has their media people you're familiar with.
And they go from one team to another. I mean, Casey Phillips, you know, she came from, what was it, the Rams, I think.
Oh, okay, yeah. And Carmen, I know that she's from the Chicago area. I don't know if she worked for the Bears, but...
Yeah, she did.
She did.
And, you know, you've got most of these media personalities are not even fans of football, let alone of the Buccaneers team. But the ones that are fans of football are fans of other teams. So, you know, it's not like they're on our side. Got to remember that. The only ones that are the Joe Bucks fan and Pewter Report, and then you got some of the, you know, the Bucks Nation, all those guys. The fan media You know, those guys I support 100%. But the other ones, I've never done this before. And I was just like, I have to unfollow them. I just, you know, it was the politics. And then when they actually had their followers attack one of our fans for being, I mean, the guy was really polite with her, and he said, "Hey, can you not bring politics into this? Just, you please." He said, "Please," even. Not good enough, man. She laid into him, and then all of her followers laid into him. And I said, "No, I'm not going to have that, man. That's dividing the fan base. That is attacking our fans. It's just bad stuff."
And it's not the first time it's happened.
It's not the first time it's happened, exactly. So, you know, enough of that. And then there was this whole kerfuffle that has been brought up, and it's got the whole fan base in a tizzy. I've noticed it even with the independent media guys. It's the dropped passes and the penalties. Now, these two things were originated from the media, and they have just really hammered it home. And what I'm seeing is a lot of people are turning against Bruce Arians now. I mean, in the comment section and the replies and all that good stuff, I'm seeing people are saying, you know, Arians sucks. He's just not a good coach. They need to get rid of him.
Which is just outrageous. Like, it's been one loss.
Right.
Know?
Yeah, not only that,
Like,
but the arguments that they're bringing up. Okay, the penalties. No, let's talk about the dropped passes first. Okay, it was Scott Reynolds from the Pewter Report that brought up the dropped passes. He asked Bruce Arians if Bruce Arians has an issue with it because we're number one in the league, according to some unnamed website, in dropped passes. And Bruce Arians laughed it off. He was like, I don't know who comes up with these stats, but we got good receivers that catch the ball. You know, we had one bad game with them dropping the ball, but other than that, no issues. Move on. Well, that wasn't enough. You know, everybody was just like, what is wrong with him? Doesn't he understand analytics? Is he not?
Oh, for God's sakes.
Yeah, it's these stats guys, you know.
I can't stand that. Like,
Yeah.
I don't, yeah. Okay. Continue.
We'll get on a long tirade.
I know.
If we keep up here. I'm trying to keep this short. The stats guys love to point at stats for everything. Like it's the end all be all, but it's not. It's a tool. It's like you can't build a house with just a hammer. You have to have a bunch of different tools. Stats are just a tool. They can help you give some insight into things, but they are not by any stretch of the imagination the end all be all of football. For example, the dropped passes. You know, there are sites out there that say we are the leaders in drop passes, or we're at least in the top 3 in all the stats that I've seen. And again, it's a subjective thing. It's like quarterback pressures. You know, it's totally subjective. There's no definition for what is a dropped pass.
Well, there's so many other variables too. For instance, how many times are you throwing the ball compared to everybody else?
Exactly.
I mean, if you're just going by raw numbers, that's going to make a difference, and it should be weighted depending on how many passes you're throwing a game.
Right. And you know who's number 1 in the most attempts so far this year? Passes?
The Bucks?
The Dallas Cowboys.
Okay.
You know who leads in dropped passes?
The Cowboys?
The Dallas Cowboys.
Imagine that.
You know who's
That was
number
so
2?
weird.
You know who's number 2 in pass attempts this year?
The Green Bay Packers.
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Okay.
You know who's
See, that
number
was my
2
first
in
answer.
dropped passes?
The Green Bay
Tampa
Packers.
Buccaneers. I mean, it just makes sense. What would matter is percentage.
Yeah.
You know, and then even still, our number 1 dropped passer, I don't know, receiver, whatever, is Ronald Jones with 3. Okay, so what are we going to do? Bench Ronald Jones? You know who number 2 is?
Mike Evans.
Mike Evans. What are we going to do? Bench
know.
Mike Evans?
It's so stupid.
It is the dumbest thing.
First of all, with Rojo, you're like, okay, we know that this is what he is. I mean, like,
Yes.
Rojo, I mean, he's got the club hands. Like, just don't throw it to him.
He does okay.
Yeah, he does. I mean, 3 out of the whole season. That's not that bad.
It's only 5 weeks in, too. Though, so.
Yeah. And then, yeah, like Mike Evans. What are you going to do? You going to bench Mike Evans?
Right. I'm sorry. I need to correct this. We're 4th in the league for pass attempts.
Okay.
But the point's still saying we're 20th for pass completion percentage. That sounds horrible, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Guess who Tom Brady's ahead of in that category?
Aaron Rodgers.
Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, and Baker Mayfield. All of them are 4-1.
Baker Mayfield is 4-1. Oh, what kind of garbage teams are
the
they
power
playing?
rankings came out yesterday. They're number 2.
What?
Behind the Green Bay
Get
Packers.
the hell out of here.
Yeah, I was like, what?
Who makes up that shit? They should lose their job. Is that Pro Football Focus? That sounds like some shit they put out.
It was.
I knew it.
That's funny. And we're 12th for yards a game in passing. Yeah, so we pass a lot, and we're going to have drop balls, and that's going to create, us at the top of these stupid lists.
Okay.
Which means,
and look at our receiving core. Like, we have 2 stud receivers who, by the way, have been injured.
mm-hmm.
I mean, like Chris Godwin, we've been missing him. But in any case, our stud receivers are better than almost every receiver in this league. Like,
Right.
what are you going to do?
Right.
If
they can't catch
gonna
the
bench
ball,
them?
who you think is going to catch the ball?
I know. And since
Andre Hopkins?
yeah, like
I mean,
Chris has been out, Chris Godwin. So then you have Scotty Miller is playing in his place, and then you just keep moving them up, and so that happens, especially when you have receivers who haven't played. We had like Tyler Johnson and Cyril Grayson, who right off his fucking helmet.
I think he's dropped 2.
Yeah.
But then again, I would look at it and I'd say, hey, they've dropped more passes than what are being registered. But again, it's totally subjective. Who's to say what is a dropped pass? What constitutes a dropped pass? If you can get your hands on it, does that constitute a drop pass?
If it bounces off your face?
If it bounces off your
count?
face, yeah. I mean, yeah, seriously, if you're running across the field and you don't see the ball coming, you turn your head and it hits you in the face and bounces off, is that a dropped pass? Don't know. You have to ask people to come up with these stats. Ronald Jones is tied for most dropped passes. He's tied with Ezekiel Elliott with 3. So,
That's why they're running
Ezekiel
backs,
Elliott
guys.
must suck too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why they're running backs.
Yeah, Mike Evans has 2 dropped passes. He's tied for 5th in the league. A whole bunch of people have 2. So anyhow, that just goes to show it was a silly question, and Bruce Arians was totally right in his response. He just chuckled. He was like, I don't know who comes up with this crap. Our guys can catch the ball. We don't have a problem. But then the penalties. Now, this is one, it seems to make sense. You're like, well, look at us. We were number 1 in penalties last year. We've been in the top 3 every year for the past 10 years. It's just, and that's why when you lose, everybody rushes to find somebody to blame. That's how it always happens, And so when you're at the top of the penalty list, that's an easy pickings, right?
And especially when you've lost.
Right. When you lose
Like,
a game and
people-
you had a lot of penalties in that game, you go, well, that's the reason why we lost. Kevin O'Donnell from Fox 13 News Tampa asked Bruce Arians about this. And I love the way he asked it, because he wasn't asking it like your team sucks. He was saying, what's up with the refs? He said, he asked Arians, do you believe that refs target teams? And Bruce Arians said, no, but I do believe they target players. And he brought up Ryan Jensen as being one of them. And I applauded. I was like, oh, fantastic answer. Although I do believe they target teams. But
Yeah. How are you the top 10 in the top 3? What did you say? In the past 10 years?
The top 3.
Yeah, we've been top 3 in the past 10 years.
Something like that. It averages out or something.
We've had like 5 coaches.
Right. So how's that
We've
happen?
had so many roster turnovers.
Mm-hmm. Well,
So
2 of the coaches.
How's your team consistently?
2 of the coaches, Cutter and Arians, run extremely complex offenses. So the more complex something is, the easier it is to break. It's easier to make mistakes. But anyhow, getting back to the penalties, being the top on that list doesn't mean a thing. It's total BS when people point this out. Houston Texans are 5th best in the league with fewest penalties.
And they're what, 0-5?
1-4.
Oh, 1-4.
Denver,
they got to win. Good for them.
Denver is right behind them, and they're 1-3. Washington is next, and they're 1-4. 4 of the top 10 teams with the fewest penalties have losing records.
Oh my God.
Oh, it gets worse. Worse. The Dolphins are 2nd best in the league with only 3 pre-snap penalties. They're 2-3.
Oh, the Dolphins.
The Jets only have 7 pre-snap penalties. They're 0-5. The Bucs are tied for first with 15. Us and the Eagles. The Chiefs have 12. They're fourth. The Buffalo Bills have 11. They're eighth. Those are pre-snap penalties. So the top teams have a lot of pre-snap penalties. Four of the top 5 most penalized teams have winning records. Tampa, Arizona, Chicago, Buffalo, Saints, Dallas, Kansas City. Only 3 of the top 10 in penalties have losing records. That's the Jets, Jacksonville, and Cincinnati. Jacksonville and Cincinnati are 9th and 10th. So penalties don't mean a damn thing. The top 10 penalized teams, Tampa, Arizona, Jets, Chicago, New Orleans, Buffalo, Dallas, Jacksonville, Kansas City, Cincinnati. Only 3 of them have losing records. So that means 7 of the top 10 most penalized teams have winning records right now. And then this is the big one to me. It's all, you got to look in context. All penalties are not the same. I mean, a penalty for jumping off sides when you're up 45-2 in the fourth quarter with 1 minute left doesn't mean anything. But when it's 4th and 1 and you jump off sides, on a game-winning drive, that's an important penalty. So, and penalties don't really mean anything when you take them out of context. For example, we had a penalty against the Bears for too many men on the field of our defense. Did you know that?
No.
I know, because it was during a Nick Foles kneel down with 33 seconds left in the game.
Oh.
It gave them 5 yards for their next kneel down.
That's crazy. I had no idea.
Right.
I was already sad by that point.
And a lot of penalties don't mean anything, because if you get a 5-yard penalty and then in the next play you sack them and then they have to punt.
Yeah.
Does that penalty mean anything? No.
Or like during an extra point.
Right. All right. And you get to move forward 5 yards
like,
or
okay,
back
great.
5 yards or whatever. Yeah. So all penalties are not the same. And I think it's a ridiculous argument. It's just people grasping for, why did we lose this game? We should not have lost this game. And that's a good segue right into the game film.
Let me guess. The refs lost us this game.
That's what I said after watching the game, right? I was like, the refs cost us the game. And I went on this big tirade about how they, again, there were certain penalties that extremely helped the Bears get points or gain good field position. And I said that, right behind that, or probably quite a bit of ways from it, but second place was we beat ourselves. Right? Mm-hmm. And it wasn't even a question that Chicago beat us. They didn't. Okay, that was after the game.
Okay.
Now, this happens all the time where I watch the game film and it totally changes my perspective. I'm like, whoa, man, my goodness. No, it wasn't the refs, or oh my gosh, we sucked, or they played great football or whatever. That didn't happen this time. As a matter of fact, everything was reinforced extremely, like exponentially. The refs sucked. But I counted 26 bad or missed calls by the refs.
Whoa. And
you know me, when I see a hold or a pass interference or anything, it has to be blatant to me. I mean, I don't do ticky-tack stuff. I'm like, if I go, I can't really tell, I can't see his hand or whatever, I just move on. I go, okay, whatever. That's 26 penalties that they missed or they called that were wrong. And all of them were blatant. That's bad. That's really bad. In the New Orleans game, I think there was 29.
Yeah, something like that.
So this was on that level. But here's the difference. A lot of the uncalled penalties were on us. Oh, my gosh. I have never seen our offensive line hold so much. In the first quarter of this game, we beat the ever-living crap out of them. Their defensive line, we were tossing them, literally tossing them, grabbing them and tossing them, and just beating them into the ground. Not just holding, but we were much more physical. All the way through this game, we were the much more physical team.
Huh.
And the first, I'd say the first quarter, maybe the whole first half, we got a lot of penalties that were not called. There were false starts and pass interferences, holdings, hands to the face. It was all over the place. And a lot of it was us. But, a lot of it was them. Now, they had, the refs were just so weird in this game. They were so weird. It's like they called a false start on Donovan Smith one time. And I had to frame by frame it, slow it down and go frame by frame to see him move. I mean, it was just a little flinch. I was like, wow, that was incredible. And they called him false start for that. But then twice else during the game, the guy moved a half a second before the ball snaps and they didn't call it.
Us or the Bears?
Us, Donovan Smith. But then they did it to the Bears too. There was one, they did a false start on Neal. I think he was the right guard. And again, I had to frame by frame it in slow motion to see the guy move. And I'm like, wow, that's really ticky-tacky. But then there was 2 times where they false started and, it was blatantly obvious and it didn't get flagged. So these refs were they were absolutely horrible. They were trash. Absolutely trash. And the ref crew was the Alex Kemp crew. Gave them a grade F. Can't get no worse. So they were really bad.
I wonder how the ref grades compare when we win versus when we lose.
Well, so far it's been like the exact opposite. The 2 games
straight
we've
Fs.
lost. Yeah. 2 games we've lost have been both Fs.
That's what I mean. Like,
Have we
when
only
we
lost 2
win,
games?
it's like an A++. Great job, refs.
No, I've never done that.
No.
Never done that. C is the highest I've ever given.
You got a grade on a curve in that case.
Now, our offensive line, man, I have heard so many people trash our offensive line.
Okay, and
this
that
week.
was my initial thought after the
Mhm.
game was that the defensive line really gave them fits.
Right. Absolutely untrue. Couldn't be further from the truth. We beat the crap out of their defensive
What?
line. Yes. It was amazing. Now, there were a few plays where, our guys got beat. It's always going to happen, even if you're playing against the crappiest defensive
But
line.
was it because they were holding
Who?
our offensive line?
No. We definitely out physical now. I mean, we were pushing them around. That's why Ronald Jones had such a good run in the game. I mean, we were opening up holes for that guy. Incredible. They're just not very good at run stopping, I guess. But our offensive line played really great. They played with a lot of energy. They worked together well and all that. But there were a few issues where it made it look like they sucked. There was one play, and I mentioned it in the podcast when I was watching the broadcast, that it looked like they were blocking for a screen pass when Brady was looking downfield.
Yeah.
Well, after I looked at it on the All-22, it wasn't a screen pass. They were going out for a run. Gronkowski runs out and it blocks a linebacker. Jensen, it was either Jensen or Marpet. He chip blocks and then goes out to block a linebacker. They do great blocks. Everybody blocked well. But the guys on the end, Wirfs and Donovan both, let their defenders go by. Just kind of pushed them because they thought it was going to be a run up the middle, apparently. And everybody on the line blocked like it was going to be a run up the middle. And unfortunately, the running back and the quarterback didn't get that message. And so they got dropped back for a pass. And the 2 edge guys just met at Tom Brady. And
so what was it that made Tom go off on them? Do you recall?
Yes, there was that one series where we had, I think, 6 penalties in a row.
Okay.
And that was one where Jensen got called for unsportsmanship, like conduct.
That was such bullshit.
We'll get to that in a minute.
Okay.
Don't let me forget about that.
Okay.
There was another play where Donovan, Khalil Mack got a sack on Donovan, and Donovan had him dead to rights and went to push him. Mack was running by him, and Donovan kind of let him go by him because he knew that when he got him to the side, he could just shove him into the rest of the line. He was just going to push him into the rest of the line, and he went to shove him, and his left hand missed. So he only got him with one arm. Yeah, you could see his left hand it scraped the back of his jersey, and so Khalil Mack was able to get by him. And I was like, oh man, that was really good technique. I was like really impressed by Donovan what he was doing there, and then he just had a brain fart there at the end. Tristan Wirfs, no, everybody was talking about how Khalil Mack just manhandled him all day. Not even close.
Really?
Not even close. No. And here's the thing: Tristan Wirfs twisted his ankle in. Let me see. I think it was 3 minutes in the first quarter. It was very early in the first quarter. Yeah, he twisted it really bad. He dropped immediately to the ground. And when he rolled over, he got on all fours and sat there for a while before the whistle blew. And I watched him. He didn't really look like it affected him too much, but he did limp a little bit, but that was pretty tough because it was a bad twist. It was all of his weight, on his twisted ankle.
Mm-hmm.
So, that gives him an excuse. But he did get beat a couple of times. But the one where Mac came around, got the sack, and then hip tosses Wirfs, that one really, really pisses me off for a number of reasons. One, that should have been unnecessary roughness. And we talked about that after the game. And not a single person in the media has pointed that out. As a matter of fact, and this is our media, Bucs media, they actually tweeted out pictures of that as a highlight play, talking about how Wirfs needs to, he'll get better, don't worry, or, all this good stuff. I'm like, why would you do that? Why would you tweet that out or put that picture, that GIF up, of Wirfs getting hip tossed by Khalil Mack? But it definitely 100% should have been a penalty. I mean, it's the very definition of unnecessary roughness.
Right, and the whistle had blown, right?
The whistle had already blown. Wirfs was pushing Mack off of Brady. Mack had, sacked him and was kind of like leaning on him a little bit. So Wirfs comes over, and Wirfs was already moving in that direction anyhow, and he starts pushing Mack, and he's pushing, but Wirfs was tripped up because he was at a bad angle when he, went to push Mack off of him. And so he was falling forward, and Mack could have very easily have just stepped out of the way or, just walked backwards and Wirfs would have fallen on his face. But instead what he did is he hooked his arm, put his leg between Wirfs' legs, and hip tossed him. And there's two refs standing right there looking at that. This is after the whistle. It's just amazing to me. But yet they will call Ryan Jensen for what he did is he walked up to one of the cornerbacks and pushed his head forward, tilted his head forward, and they both bumped face masks. And that was considered a personal foul. That is insane to me. One, that was considered a personal foul because that happens almost after every play.
Mm-hmm.
And two, that they didn't call Mack, but they would call Jensen for that. It's just insane. That was how stupid these refs were in this game. So the offensive line, I thought they played great. I'd give them a B-. I'd give them a B-. They do not deserve the crap they were getting. All the fans are just upset that they lost.
Yeah.
We expected to win.
happens.
It was on national television. It was kind of embarrassing the way it ended. So that brings me to the next point. We lost this game. We actually lost it a little bit worse than I thought we did. We had some screw ups. The offensive line played great. Defensive line played great. Linebackers, they were there. The quarterback screwed up.
Really?
Yeah. They got confused a bit. They tripped over each other a little bit.
Ooh.
Yeah. First time I've seen that happen this year, where they looked a little confused out there and made simple mistakes. We just don't do that on this team. And then Tom Brady, he had an off night. Worst game I've seen him play with us.
Really?
Yeah. Well, he had the fumbled snap.
Mm-hmm.
I looked at it, and from my analysis, it looked like it was his fault because he was turning away as the ball was snapped. That one's hard to tell, though, but I'm going to pin it on Brady anyhow. He had a lot of inaccurate passes for him. Not real bad ones, but some of them, cost us dearly. Third down passes that were thrown off. And then, of course, there was he missed seeing 3 or 4 open receivers. It's the worst he's done in that. He's been great all year long. I think I've counted 2 all year long. Yeah. I've really been impressed with him on that. But this game, he missed quite a few. As a matter of fact, on the Vaughn, where he threw it to Vaughn, and Vaughn got hit and fumbled, Johnson was wide open over on the left. Yeah. And then there was, of course, the 4th down. I forgot it was 4th down. I mean, it's just not Tom Brady. There was something going on there. So he didn't play well, and the cornerbacks, they muffed up more than they should have. So, those things cost us a game. And the thing of it is those things happened at bad times. There was one where Barrett went into coverage on Montgomery, and 24, Carlton Davis, goes over to like help him out and ends up bumping Barrett off of Montgomery.
God's sake.
And here's the thing: this is one of those things where sometimes luck just the ball bounces your way. Well, it didn't on this one. Shaq Barrett hit Foles as he was throwing. It was either Shaq Barrett or JPP. I can't remember. Got his arm. I don't know how he got the ball out, to be honest with you. And if you watch it,
It's like
it
that
floats.
Teddy Bridgewater like flick.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
funny.
yeah. But if you watch the ball on that play, it floats really high. And when I first watched it, I was like, wow, that was a really incredible pass by Foles because he laid it in there perfectly.
Yeah.
Between three guys. And in the replay, no, he gets his arm hit. So it probably would have been a bad pass if he would have thrown it the way he would have thrown it. I know. And then
when does that ever happen?
Yeah, so on that play, Carlton Davis messes up, bumps Barrett off his guy, just gives him a little bit of space, and Foles gets hit as he's throwing it, lobs up in the air, and it lands right in Montgomery's hands. Like a perfect pass. You're like, wow, you can't get more of a screwed up. And that was on it was on a second down, but that put them a field goal. That was their field goal winning drive. Man. Yeah, that play right there is what.
How often does that happen, though, where you hit a quarterback and he makes a better throw than he would have otherwise? That is like a fluke thing that never happens.
Yeah, I know. We got a lot of pressure on him, surprisingly, especially in the fourth quarter. Now, he was getting the ball out so fast, especially in the first half.
I didn't realize he was one of those guys.
Well, Jamal Dean did a press conference, and he said that they had game planned for long passes because that's what Chicago has shown on film.
I think that Chuck Pagano just really has
he knows
Bruce Arians' number.
Yeah. Well, that's offense, defense, yeah. So.
Yeah, but he has insight into.
Bruce Arians.
Yeah. So.
Right. So. Foles was able to get this ball out so quick that our defensive line really couldn't get to him a whole lot. Anytime he held the ball for more than 2.7 seconds, we were on top of him. As a matter of fact, there was one drive in the fourth quarter, two drives actually, but one drive in particular, where they had 6 plays. We sacked him twice and hit him 5 times in 6 plays. Yeah, they gained 2 yards in 6 plays, and I think they had a penalty too for like 15 yards. But anyhow, They didn't go anywhere, and we just beat the crap out of them. Yeah. Our defense did pretty good. I'm worried about Vita being out. That's going to be a big thing.
I wanted to talk about that.
We'll get to it. Okay. We did something interesting with our outside linebackers. You know how Barrett has been playing on the left, and JPP has been playing on the right, which is exactly opposite of what they did last year. They used to switch a lot last year, but Barrett played a lot on the right. Well, in this game, about halfway through the third quarter, they switched, and then they played that away through the rest of the game, where they went back to where Barrett was on the right. As you're looking, if you're at the defense, you're looking, that's the right. It's the left of the quarterback. Okay. Barrett went on that side, and JPP went back to, the side he's usually plays.
Was there like a triggering event? Like
I didn't see it. I didn't see anything that made him do that, but it seemed to work because we really started getting a lot of pressure from those two guys. But then again, we did a lot of the dropping those guys back into coverage again. It's just too much. We do it too much. I mean, it's working, I guess, because we got a monster defense. But I want to see Barrett get some sacks. And when you throw him back in coverage, he can't get sacked.
Yeah.
And when he's back in coverage 25% of the time, he ain't going to get the sacks. So the Bears did not by any stretch of the imagination beat us. The refs played a crappy game. If anything, I would say we beat ourselves and then the refs just sucked really bad. If I had to switch things up, because we did do some boneheaded stuff. It really wasn't the penalties that much, though. It was just things like being out of position. Who was it? SMB, Murphy Bunting, blew coverage one time.
Really?
We don't do that.
Yeah,
we're very
never
disciplined.
Does that. I wonder if the short week kind of compounded it.
It might have, because Brady wasn't playing, but they had Chicago a short week too. So,
right. Yeah, I know, but
they didn't have to travel.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, there was a lot of stuff. I had actually 98 plays with notes, and there were out of approximately 170.
Wow.
So there was a lot that went on this game. I'll have the things I found interesting video out tomorrow. It's late this week, of course. So it'll be out probably by lunch. Check it out. There's a few good, interesting things in there. I would really like to just do a whole video of this game and just go all the way through it, but we just don't have time. There's no way.
It's a long one.
I'd love to sit here and just talk about all this stuff. We used to be able to do that where we did just one podcast based solely on all 22. We gotta get off our butts, man. We are too slack.
Okay, I do have a YouTube comment that I liked. That was positive. It was a short week away game. This is Namek on YouTube. So thanks for the comment. It was a short week away game. Lots of injuries on offense. No Godwin, no Fournette, no O.J. Howard, Evans, and Miller playing hurt, and 2 rookies, Tyler Johnson and Keyshawn Vaughn, having to step up in a high-profile primetime game.
Good point.
Yeah. I'm not surprised Bucs lost this game, and I don't think Bucs fans should feel bad about this. Week 6 against Packers is a home game. Godwin and Fournette should be back. Evans and Miller injuries should be feeling better after 10 days rest. And we have 10 days to prepare for the Packers. Brady is pissed, and he will be totally focused on destroying the Packers next week. We will be fine. And I love this optimism.
That is great. Yeah.
I know.
That is fantastic.
I couldn't remember it just now sitting here, but I was like, I know I screenshotted something for a reason.
Yeah, fantastic. What was his name?
Namek? I think I'm probably butchering that.
Good comment, man. We appreciate that, buddy.
you.
That's exactly the mindset us Buccaneer fans should have.
Exactly.
Everybody expresses their fandoms in a different way, but to help the team, let's be positive. Let's do this, man. Yeah. We got this. Yeah, it was.
And you really have to put it into perspective because we're only 3-2. Like it's 5 weeks into the
we're
season.
We're still top of the division.
We're tied now. It's in a 3-way tie with the Saints and Panthers. We're second, technically.
Right.
So it's not. And you got to figure, remember last season, the team on both sides of the ball, it took them a while to really click. Like the offense kind of clicked early, and then the defense wasn't, which really screwed us a few times.
Yes.
And then kind of towards the middle of the season, it seemed like the defense clicked and the offense was clicked at the same time. And we had some good games in there. And then unfortunately, the offense kind of fell apart towards the end.
Yeah.
But the defense, we don't have to worry about the defense clicking this year. Like they got it. So just imagine when the offense really starts clicking, and they're not even playing that bad.
No. And this game illustrates that, the offense really does need time. There was quite a few plays where I was like, was that an inaccurate play or was it just miscommunication between the receivers?
Yeah, we saw that a lot last year with Jameis.
But this is a very hard offense to understand because it's not set routes. These routes are all dependent on what the defense is doing. So they change all the time. So you might think that, as a quarterback that the guy's going to cut this way, but he's going to see something different. He's going to cut the other way. So, and it seems to happen quite enough to be an issue. But once they get on the same page, you can see great things happen. For instance, the interception Brady threw at the beginning of the year to Mike Evans. Mike Evans saw something different than what Brady did, and Brady was expecting him to cut in, and he instead turned around. Well, they did the same exact thing a couple weeks later, and they both read it the same way. Boom. Mike Evans ended up getting a 70-yard reception or 49. It was a big reception.
Yeah.
A big run after the catch. So, when this stuff clicks, we're damn near unstoppable. Yeah.
And I think what we're experiencing here is a little bit of growing pains.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, it's all kind of relative. And when you think about it, we lost this game by 1 point.
Right. And they brought their A game. This is the best game they played all year long.
Yeah.
They didn't make hardly any mistakes. And we were making mistakes all over the place. And we still could have won. at the end, we only needed 20 yards to go with 40 seconds left. There's no way we weren't going to do that. And then Tom Brady had a brain fart.
Yeah.
So it was just us. We beat ourselves.
Yeah. And look how the offensive line is playing.
Yeah, I'm very impressed with the offensive line.
Yeah.
Really.
And it was funny. Ralph and I were talking the other day about how mean all of them are playing, even like Allie. Yeah. It's such a difference
it is so
from
crazy.
Before, and it's just so weird.
Yeah. Yeah, Allie Marpet had a couple of mean shoves in this one, and after play fights and stuff, it was, to see Allie Marpet play it tough. Allie Marpet's a good player, but he's very, technical and calm, cool, collective.
They called him the
mom.
The mom of the offensive line.
Yeah.
His teammates did. So when you piss the mama bear off,
that's what
they're doing.
Oh, yeah. Jensen's out there just throwing people around. He actually grabbed a guy. This was in the first drive of the first quarter. He grabs a guy and tosses him. And he tosses him into, I want to say it was Kappa. Yeah, and knocked like 3 people. It was like he was bowling. And he just grabs hold of him. I mean, it should have been holding. There's no doubt about it. But he just grabs the guy, picks him up and throws him. This is a defensive lineman. I was like, man, you're starting this off monstrous. But yeah.
I love it.
Yes. So, it was an interesting game to watch. Very exciting. I stretched it out over, 3 days, I think.
Yeah.
But anyhow, we've got the Green Bay Packers coming up. That is in the Chicago Bears, same division, same record. No, wait, Green Bay is undefeated, right?
Yeah, they're undefeated.
They're 4-0.
4-0. But listen,
they have a bye week already?
Yeah, they had a bye last week. Remember? See, I couldn't remember it last week.
That's right.
And now this week you can't remember.
Yes, that's right. There we go.
But they've played really losing teams. They played Minnesota, won. Detroit, won. New Orleans, won. Well, that one was, they beat them by 7. It was 37-30. And then Atlanta.
Yeah, but they've been scoring 40 points on all these teams.
Yeah, they averaged 38 points a game.
What is everybody else scoring on them? Do you?
I don't know. No,
that's okay.
I don't have it pulled up.
I know Detroit put up 30 some. New Orleans put up 30 some.
Yeah, I think Minnesota too.
Yeah.
Remember, Minnesota was within 10 at one point.
Mm-hmm. Poor Minnesota, man. They've been playing good football, but
man, we were watching that game. We started week 1 and watched Minnesota, Green Bay. And we were watching it. We're like, dang, this is a close game. And then you look at the score and it was Minnesota was down 18 points.
Yeah, we both were like, what in the world?
What? This feels a lot closer than what the score is. Yeah. I mean, they were running the ball really effectively.
And the same thing happened with Seattle. I mean, they just beat the crap out of Seattle.
Yeah.
The Seahawks during that whole game and somehow lost. I don't know how they did it. I don't know, Minnesota, man. I don't know what you got going on over there, but
score some points. Something.
Put some points up with that nice looking football team.
Yeah.
So Green Bay, very interesting team. Aaron Rodgers is the key. No questions about this. I mean, the guy is super accurate, probably the most accurate passer in the league. His stats this year are just insane. They are every year.
He's thrown 13 touchdowns, no interceptions. Mm-hmm. So I want to get his first interception.
I tell you, he just doesn't throw a lot of interceptions.
I know.
I think he's got 2 or 3 pick sixes his whole career, and it's been 16 years. Yeah, he doesn't throw interceptions. He's just so accurate with the ball.
Yeah.
And he's very mobile. If you leave him in the pocket, he's going to pick you apart. If you try to blitz him, he's going to pick you apart. If you flush him out of the pocket, he's going to pick you apart. He can run the ball. He can throw the ball while he's running very accurately. Mm-hmm. He will, if you get him, he's kind of like Tom Brady and Drew Brees. If you get him in your grasp, or if he thinks he's going to get sacked, he's throwing that ball. So he gets a few intentional groundings, not as many as he should, of course. But
we saw that one the other night.
Yeah,
He threw
intentional.
one.
Yeah, me and you both were so mad. Let's think about
They
intentional
need to
grounding.
call this.
Yeah, we're like,
And then
what?
they did.
That should be
The
intentional
flag was
grounding.
late.
They
I feel
always
like
are with intentional
I
grounding.
know.
Yeah.
Isn't that weird? Like they're going to talk about it. I'm like, that was blatant. We
Well,
saw it.
because it takes 3 refs to decide. It has to be
What?
the line. Yeah, the line judge has to see go past the line of scrimmage or not. The back judge has to say whether the quarterback went outside the pocket or not.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's they have to get together. That's why the intentional grounding penalties are always late.
It's
They're
a
like 20
committee.
seconds after the play.
Yeah.
So yeah, but me and you, we were just immediately we were like, what? That should be- we were on
Screaming
the
for
same-
that
this
penalty.
sucks. And then they throw the flag. We're like, okay. So their defense, nothing special. They're really built to rush the passer. It seems like to me they're built because they know Green Bay is going to score points. So the defense's job is when teams fall behind or teams try to keep up with Rodgers to just attack your quarterback.
Yeah, they're ranked 8th in rushing defense, but 19th in passing.
Yeah. So wait, 8th in rush?
Yeah, in rush defense.
That must
I
be
know.
yardage. That must be yardage.
Probably, yeah.
Because I don't think a lot of teams are running against them.
Oh, that's true.
You know, you're
That's a
getting
good point.
The Green Bay's getting up on teams by 18 points and they're having to throw the ball.
Yeah.
So Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers is going to be a handful, man. He is going to be a handful.
Their offense is like nuts this
Yeah.
year. They're first in scoring offense, second in overall offense, third in passing offense, fifth in rushing offense.
And
first,
that's with a bye week already?
Yeah.
Jeez.
And first in sacks per pass attempt allowed.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do not play around. Here's the thing. Aaron Rodgers is extremely accurate, extremely accurate, and their receivers will catch that ball. They will climb over top of you to catch that ball. They will. It doesn't matter if there's a guy in their face. If you are completely covering their face and everything, but there's a little hole about the size of a pinhead that they can see out, I don't even think they need to see. If there's a hole the size of a football anywhere around them, you are not going to stop that pass and they're going to catch it. They're so used to getting the ball. When Aaron Rodgers throws them the ball, they're used to it. It's in their hands, and they will catch that ball no matter where it's at, no matter who's on them, no matter how many people are around them. So do not expect a lot of pass defenses, once that ball leaves Aaron Rodgers' hand, it's either a catch or hopefully an interception. But I've seen so many guys try and defend these passes. You can't do it. You can be right on top of the receiver, and he will throw it somewhere where it'll go under your armpit or between your legs or something. And
Anywhere with a little bit of daylight.
Yeah, anywhere with daylight, and he will get it in there, and the receiver will catch it, and then just run down the field. You can't jump the passes because these guys will catch it and run with it. The Green Bay Packers also have a great run game.
Yeah, Aaron Jones is third in yards from scrimmage and second in rushing yards before the bye game.
Yeah.
Bye week.
Well, they use a fullback. And they use a lot of power-heavy sets. They mix up a lot of old school football plays, wings and I formations, heavy runs straight up the middle with crazy tricky plays. They're a very elaborate offense. You never know what's coming. If they're lined up in the I with 3 tight ends, you think there ain't no way they're going to pass the ball. They're going to run it, and the next thing you know, they've scored a touchdown for 60 yards on some pass play. Aaron Rodgers is just extremely difficult to sack. Like I said, if he feels like he's going to get sacked, he's throwing the ball, and he can outrun most defenders too. We've got some people who can keep up with him. I'll bring that up when I come up with a game plan we're going to talk about here. But don't expect us to just, blitz and get him. It's just not going to happen. He does a lot of hard counts. I'm in almost every.
Oh yeah,
damn
he's so good at those.
Yeah, I mean, he just
so
goes
good
up.
at
He
this.
gets up the line. He's like, here,
Mhm.
hit, hike, and it's like, well, I can't understand his snap count at all. But the vast majority, I would say 90% of his scrambles or bootlegs, whatever, are to the right. So that's going to be a game plan thing I think we can use here. So what do you think? What do you think we should do?
I don't know. What are we gonna do without Vita? Like, what is that gonna look like?
It's going to hurt. Well, we got Khalil Davis, right? The
Yes.
new guy. So he'll be in rotation. Nacho's going to take Vea's place, but it's going to be tough. You can't replace Vea.
I know he's such a presence there.
Nacho's got a lot of energy, and he's a little bit faster than Vea. The Vea was not a slouch, but he does not have that strength, man. I mean, he can't hold spots like Vea, and he can't toss guys around. Hopefully he'll impress us. He'll surprise us all. Khalil Davis, that's his name, right? Davis?
Yeah, Khalil Davis.
Don't know a thing about him, so that'll be fun.
It's a
to
young
watch
guy,
him,
rookie.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think we have to keep it out of Aaron Rodgers' hands.
Mm-hmm.
So, running the ball, give it to Rojo.
Mm-hmm.
He's on a streak, man.
Yeah, and it's our offensive line.
Yeah.
No, not to disparage Rojo. I mean, he's definitely improved a lot. He's not running at guys now.
Yeah, definitely.
He's trying to avoid people a little bit. But yeah, no, I agree with you. But see, I think everybody thinks this. You got to run the ball to keep the ball out of Aaron Rodgers' hands.
Yeah.
Because they're going to score. We're not going to stop them from scoring. There's no getting around.
Yeah, you can't.
that,
So you just have to keep it out of his hands.
Yeah. Yeah, and they're going to score in all different kinds of ways. They're going to score on screen passes. They're going to score on bombs down the field. They're going to score on crosses over the middle. They're going to run it. And they can do it all on offense. They're tight end,
Mm-hmm.
and he's leading the league in touchdowns, I think, for
Oh,
tight end.
really?
Yeah, and nobody ever heard of Tanyan or some crap like that. So they're going to score. I mean, they're going to rack up probably 28 points.
Minimum.
Yeah. So, I think that'd probably be their lowest score of the season, wouldn't it be? We are the best defense they've played yet, though.
Yeah, I mean, looking at their opponents, they're not great.
But we do have a couple of things that I think are going to give them fits, or give Aaron Rodgers fits. One of them, Shaquille Barrett. Shaquille Barrett can keep up with Aaron Rodgers. And Shaquille Barrett is extremely football smart. He does not get fooled. And they do a lot of tricky stuff.
Yeah. Oh, okay, yeah.
And if we keep him over on the left side, right side of the offense, that's the way Aaron Rodgers normally, when he scrambles, he goes that way. Or when they run bootlegs, he goes that way.
Mm-hmm.
If we keep Shaquille Barrett over there as kind of like a spy,
Oh, that's a good idea.
then we can contain Aaron Rodgers in that sense and allow our guys to rush in from the left or up the middle. Up the middle, he's extremely vulnerable. If you can get up the middle really fast, with our linebackers, Devin White and Devonte David, if they can blitz up the middle real quick, or even Winfield,
Yeah.
just have them go up the middle just as fast as they can, we can get to Aaron Rodgers. But can't have Shaquille Barrett over there as that stopgap.
You don't think they'll have Levante, spying him?
No, I don't think they should. No. We're going to need all we can back there to either take him down or try to get his passes out of the air. That's going to be a tough one.
No, that's what I mean, spotting him in case he tries to run.
No, I don't think we're going to spy him. No. He's not mobile like that. He's not like Lamar Jackson where he's going to.
Right, but he can
if
still
you give him
scramble.
space,
That's what I'm saying. You just
Well,
said that.
That's what I'm saying. Shaquille Barrett will keep him in check on that sense, I think. We can use Shaquille Barrett in that regard. Please, God, don't let Shaquille Barrett go back in coverage so much this game. He is perfectly matched for Aaron Rodgers. He can keep up with Aaron Rodgers speed-wise. He's smart enough to not fall for the play actions and the end arounds and the all the crazy, silly stuff they do. And, he keeps his eye on the ball. And, he can shut down that whole right side for Aaron Rodgers. And Aaron Rodgers uses that right side a lot. So I think that they should use Shaquille Barrett in that aspect and just flood people on the left side to flush Aaron Rodgers towards Barrett. Because that's his natural tendency anyhow, is to run that away. And have Barrett over there just waiting for him. Or coming at him, Now, it's not going to work all the time for sure. I mean, that's the thing with this team. They are going to score points. They're going to get, no matter what you do, they're going to beat you for the most part. We just got to slow them down a little bit and hope that our offense can keep up with them.
Mm-hmm.
So if we can run the ball, keep them off the field, that'd be great. Defensively, I think we're going to be a tough match for them. They're not going to score 40 points on us. But offensively, I think we have opportunity to keep up with them scoring. I think we could do it.
Yeah, I think so too. They just have to be clicking on all cylinders. I mean, they have to play their best game.
Yeah, and we do too. If we screw up like we did against Chicago,
right? No, that's what I was saying. The offense.
Oh yeah. If we don't play top notch all the way around, they are going to eat us alive.
Mm-hmm.
This team does not take any prisoners.
Right.
So, with all that being said, who do you think is going to win?
Oh, I don't want to say. This will be the first game. I'm not picking the Bucs. I just, it's Green Bay. It's a real tough matchup, and the way that they're playing, it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough, and I definitely think Green Bay has the edge.
I don't even know who you are anymore.
I'm going to go with my score prediction is 31-27.
Green Bay?
Green Bay.
All right. I'll do the same exact score. I was going to go 31-28, but I'm going to take the Bucs.
Okay.
Well, because I'm a real fan. I really don't want to do this. But,
I know. You just got to teach me.
But, it really all depends. If we can put a cork on Aaron Rodgers, we're just going to beat the crap out of this team because that's really all they got.
Yeah.
But
he's just not so easy to take down.
No, I mean, teams have been trying for years.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah, it's...
we got to figure out how to get him pissy. I think someone needs
frustrated.
to... go out onto the field, dig some holes, dig up the sod a little bit.
He hates our
field. He complained about us. That's where he rolled his ankle or something.
That's right. Was that when Josh Freeman?
Yeah, that was Josh Freeman.
Yes, Josh Freeman made his debut against Aaron Rodgers and beat the crap out of him.
We're undefeated at home this season.
2 games.
2 games.
Yeah, we're wearing white again.
Ugh. Stupid Long John uniforms. That's all right. Let me go through the injury report real quick.
Yeah, we're going to run long today. I've still got some news to cover.
Oh, you do? Okay. Yeah. The Bucs' Devonte David has a knee injury. He's been limited all week. Carlton Davis has an abdomen injury. He did not practice Wednesday. He's been limited Thursday.
He got hurt on defending a pass late in the 4th. Okay. Yeah, jumped way up high. It was a great pass to pass, too.
Khalil Davis has an ankle injury. He was limited Wednesday, did not practice Thursday. Mike Evans with the ankle, he didn't practice Wednesday, but was limited Thursday.
He said he's fine. He's really good.
I'm sure he's just resting. Leonard Fournette with the ankle injury, he's been limited all week, as has Chris Godwin with the hamstring. Gronk has a shoulder injury, Mr. Bionic Man. I think it's the metal one. So he's been limited Wednesday and Thursday. That was funny. Were you even listening?
No. The Bionic Man.
I hope the rest of you laugh because that was pretty funny. Lesean McCoy had an ankle injury. He was limited Wednesday and Thursday. Recovering. Scotty Miller with his groin and hip injury. He was limited Wednesday and Thursday. JPP with the knee injury was limited Wednesday and Thursday. Justin Watson had his chest injury, and he was a full participant Wednesday and Thursday. Jordan Whitehead has a knee injury, limited Wednesday, did not practice Thursday. On the Packers side, Devonte Adams has a hamstring injury, but he's been a full participant. Defensive lineman Montravius Adams has a neck injury, which I guess happened in practice because he practiced on Wednesday but did not practice Thursday. Cornerback Jair Alexander has a hand/knee injury. He was limited Wednesday, full participant Thursday. Linebacker Chris Barnes has a shoulder injury. He was limited Wednesday, full participant Thursday. Defensive tackle Kenny Clark has a groin injury. He was a full participant Wednesday and Thursday. Running back Tyler Irvin has a wrist injury. He did not practice all week. Linebacker Rashawn Gary had an ankle injury. He has been limited all week. Cornerback Kevin King has a quad injury. He did not practice all week. Tight end Mercedes Lewis has a knee injury. He was limited Wednesday and did not practice Thursday. Linebacker Zadarius Smith has an ankle injury but has been a full participant. And cornerback Chandon Sullivan has a concussion but was a full participant all week.
Well, at least we're getting healthier.
Yeah.
The 49ers have claimed cornerback Parnell Motley off waivers from the Bucs.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Good
We
for
lost.
him.
We lost the Motley crew.
Bummer.
What was his name? He went to Cleveland.
Darius Taylor?
No. Carl Nassib. Raiders.
No,
We went to Raiders. Yeah. He suffered a big broken toe in Sunday's win over the Chiefs.
No.
Not sure how much time he's going to miss over that.
He doesn't need a toe.
Toes are overrated.
Overrated.
Let me see. There is no Pro Bowl this year.
Really?
Yep. But they are going to vote, but they're not going to play.
Are they still going to go to Hawaii, though? I think that's what all the players want to know.
They haven't been doing Hawaii for like 5 years.
They haven't?
No.
Never watched that shit.
I
I was like in Miami last year, wasn't
yeah,
it?
they're changing it every year.
Oh,
Yeah.
ugh. They should have it in Detroit this year. No one would go anyway.
The Titans have activated wide receiver Adam Humphries off the reserve COVID-19 list.
Oh, I didn't know he was on there.
Man, why do you even do these? Do you know anything about football?
Did you tell me?
Did
you know he was on there?
Yeah. We talked about it the first year. I'm pretty sure we had mentioned it in a podcast. And I think that's about it for the news. Just trying to whip through it real quick.
Le'Veon Bell was released by the Jets, and just before this podcast, he signed with the Chiefs on a 1-year deal.
Great. Don't we get to play the Chiefs this year?
Oh, we do. Great.
Ugh.
I mean, number 1 rush defense. Come on, Le'Veon.
Yeah, let's see what you can do, Le'Veon.
Yeah.
Le'Veon. All right. You got anything else?
That's it.
Yeah, didn't cover near as much stuff as we wanted to on this podcast, but we felt we needed to get something out before the game Sunday. Oh, man, yeah, it's going to be a tough one. Honestly, I say the Bucs are going to win because I always say the Bucs are going to win.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm having a hard time with this one. I do think we have an advantage on being at home because Tom Brady hates our field, or Aaron Rodgers hates our field. Other than that,
we just gotta get him pissy. Like, he's such a pissy person.
Tussle his hair.
I know. Somebody punch it. Jensen should go out there and just punch him. Just piss him off.
All right. Anything else?
That'll do it.
That'll do it. All right, guys. We got a game coming up. It is the 18th Sunday. This game is at 4:25 p.m.
Oh, man. I was hoping
Eastern
it would be a
Standard
1
Time.
o'clock game.
I know. I hate these 4 o'clock games.
Boo.
I'm always too drunk by the time they come on. I kind of just sit there.
Well, it's just I have to sit through everyone else's game that I don't care about. Like, I don't want to see all these other teams. I want to see my team. I get a little jealous. 1 o'clock games.
It's like watching your ex with their new thing. Okay. That's going to wrap it up for us. Till next time.
Go Bucks.